Here's another kind. Moral confidence. Moral confidence. That means knowing that you would do the right thing. Knowing that you wouldn't do something wrong. Moral confidence. You can have that in your daily life, because a lot of your days are the same. But what if you were in another time? Like, I would love to believe, I feel confident that I would not have had slaves. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have had any. Even if I lived in 17 whatever, in Virginia, and all my neighbors had slaves, I would have been like, you guys are dicks. I can say that, but it's easy to say that now, because you can't get no slaves. You just can't, you can't get any. That's why you don't have slaves. It's not because you're better than back then people. It's because they're not available. That's a huge contributing factor. It's not a decision you need to make every day, like you're crying on your groceries, but oh, fuck, maybe I should, I don't know, I better not, but geez, it would be easier. Because they're not there. It's not like they have slaves at Home Depot. I mean, they kind of do. But, yeah. There are some forms of kind of slavery. You can get a Russian woman to do whatever you want because her family's hostage. That's one of them. But that's still temporary. I mean, you could adopt like a 12-year-old from Bangladesh and... I mean, really, he'll move into your house and do your laundry and suck your dick, whatever you want. But even he gets to leave when he's 18. Although, who wants them when they're that old? I'm just saying, excuse me, I'm just saying that slavery gets rebranded, but it doesn't really ever totally go away. I mean, it's been part of human history, going way back, slavery. Even the earliest civilizations in Mesopotamia, I don't know if I didn't go to college, I don't know anything. But the earliest images of human life already had the guys going, ugh, and the guy going, ah, primer, fucker. How early did we come up with this? Like, from the beginning of human existence, we evolved, through ideas. We were a scared, naked ape, and then we were like, make a fire, it's a good idea. Kill an animal and take his fur, it's a good idea. Plant things and then wait, it's a good idea. But really quickly we came up with, just make them fucking do it. I'm not doing anything. I'm doing nothing. Make them fucking do it. That was like our third thing we did on Earth. So you can have confidence, but you got to be a little, I mean, there's things that people did in history that I wouldn't have done. And even here you drive by them. In New York, you walk right by them. So in New York, they're right there. They're in your space. They're in your world. And you got to make a choice. Every couple of blocks, you got to make a choice. You going to help or not? You got to keep shooting. Now, you got to put a limit on it somewhere, because you're not going to help all of them, and you're not going to help any of them, really, with a few bucks. But there's always that, like, there's a homeless guy who lives, he doesn't live anywhere, but, I mean, he's, by definition, he's at large. But he's often seen. He's always on the corner by my house. Same guy, every day. And I walk past him every day on the way to the store. I go to the same store every day. I go to Claire's. I don't know if you know Claire's. It's a jewelry store for children. I go there every day. I buy a handful of scrunchies and I run home. Everything else I buy online. Anyway, when I walk by this homeless guy in the morning, he always goes, hey, man, can you help me out? And I go, sure, I give him $5. Then I go to the store. 5 minutes later, I walk by, and he says, hey, man, he doesn't remember, which is fine, but I don't want to give him another $5, Because I only have a few million. I don't know why. I don't know why. I clearly should. I don't know what makes me go, You had your $5, young man. What am I going to spoil him? For sure. Like, I wouldn't have made an Auschwitz. I wouldn't have done that. What am I going to do with an Auschwitz? Yeah, Auschwitz is not one of those where you're like, it was the times, you know? It was a horrible thing, obviously. Auschwitz, horrible. They killed people. They killed children. They killed little children in Auschwitz who could have grown up and moved to Brooklyn and hated black people, and they didn't get to do that. It's terrible. I know. I had a friend who's a comedian in England, and he made a joke about Auschwitz, and he got in a lot of trouble. There was a big shitstorm, and at one point, Auschwitz tweeted about his joke. It's true. It's an Auschwitz with a blue check. So it was like, oh, cool, it's really them, you know. And they tweeted like, that's not funny. Why is the death camp tweeting? Who's running the social accounts at Auschwitz? I got a summer job at Auschwitz. I'm running their Twitter. You know what I was thinking about today? I was thinking about Jesus. I was. Today, I was thinking about Jesus. And after I came, I thought, well, I feel sorry for Jesus. That's how I feel. I don't know how much you know about Jesus, but I feel fucking bad for Jesus, man. I do. He had a hard life. I mean, the last day was particularly difficult, but if you look at pictures of him, he had to wear that thong, that fucking just dish rag yanked up his balls. Just, carrying his cross like, fuck, just a rash. Some people say you should live like Jesus. Who can live? He was insane. You can't live like that. He had a weird life. I'm reading about Jesus. I have this book about Jesus. I'm going to share it with you. Okay. This is a book about Jesus. Actually, only this much is about Jesus. Only that, just that part. The rest of it is just the Jews going like, and then we walked for 50 years in the desert, and we only had a little bit of oil. It was difficult. It's fucking verbose. The Jew, look at that, just Jews. It just goes on and on. And then Jacob bought a goat, and Abraham lived to be 800. Yeah, I bet he fucking did, too. The Jews in the early chapters are all like 800 years old. And then God was like, I can't with these fucking Jews for 800 years. Heart disease starts today. So that's them, and that's Jesus. Oh, there's a little part, it's Jesus. And the weird part is it's not all, like, it's all the same story over and over again. They tell the same story about Jesus' life over again. First Matthew tells it, and then Mark is like, dude, that's not what, you're fucking drunk. Here's what happened. I'll tell you what happened. Hey, Paul, you weren't even here. Shut the fuck up. And I started reading it because I never read it. I was raised Catholic, but they don't encourage you to read the church. They don't. They don't want you to read this. You know, Jews read this shit in Hebrew. And Baptists sit down and they read together. But the Catholics, they want you to come in the building. They want you to come in and they tell you. And you're like, can I read it? And they're like, no, I'll tell you what happened. You know, sorry, put the book down. But it's interesting because when you read the stories, you think of them as lofty, kind of like, but some of them are just basic life in the Jesus life. Okay, here, moral confidence. There's other ways to boost your moral confidence, like you can do good things, or not. You can help people all the time. You can help homeless people. There's a lot of homeless people here. There's a shitload of homeless people here. I mean, not in here. There's none in here. There's 0 in here. That's right. They can't come in here. Even with a ticket, they cannot come in here. They're not allowed in the places where we're allowed. That's what we all agree on. Everybody's like, I don't know what to do about the homeless, but they're not coming in here. They're not coming in here. They're outdoor people. They don't have... If you don't have your own indoors, you can't go in other people's indoors. They can't go where we go. There's places where you'll never see a homeless person. Like the airport. There's no homeless people at the airport. You go to the bus station, they're on the bus beside you. But at the airport, they can't even get to it. They can't even get to it. You never seen a homeless person at the airport? You never been at your gate and some guy's like, hey man, I'm trying to get to Tokyo, can you help me out? Just give me an aisle seat, brother. And they're all over the country, everywhere now. I've been on tour, I've seen them everywhere. I was in Phoenix, and it was during the summer, 120 degrees. And homeless people are just standing at the intersection with a sign, and they're just cooking. You can't even tell what race he was before it burnt off. And he's holding a sign that says, help, I'm on fire. But you're like, you're in a white BMW, like, I can't, sorry. There's glass here. I can't help because of the glass.